那其实我想快速的问，就是马拉比先生一个问题，您觉得，就是当下这种 AI 的发展，其实最重要的是这个算力，还是说这个科学治理的能力？
That's a good question. I think that we've been in a period where people focused on just building the algorithm. And particularly in America, the whole emphasis has been how powerful is the model. But we're going to be moving into a period now which is more about what can you do with the model in companies? How do you make it useful for the economy or useful for the health system or useful for education? It's the application layer that's going to be important. And then along with that is going to have to come a debate about how do you govern it to make sure it's not dangerous, because something this powerful is bound to be dangerous. I often think about the Industrial Revolution in Europe at the beginning of the 19th century, which was followed by a series of revolutions politically, and then ultimately world wars. And I think historians would say that these tensions in politics were driven by changes in the technology, which drove changes in the economy, which drove changes in the society. This is a classic Marxist analysis, which I learned when I studied history at Oxford. And I think it's kind of true for this. And so now we have a new deep change in technology, which will drive deep change in the economy, deep change in society, and we are kidding ourselves if we think it won't have major political effects. So we need to govern it to try to contain the downside. And I think that debate needs to involve a collaboration between the United States and China. These are the two AI superpowers. That debate hasn't really begun, but I hope it will do in the next few years.
其实 AI 这几年的这样的一个发展，然后我觉得就是各种大模型啊，然后以及各个 AI 公司其实都是带领着大家就是非常快速的在往下一个阶段迭代。其实哈萨比斯本人他对于这个 AI 的安全和 AI 的治理是非常关注的。那刚刚其实提到了就是AI 发展以及 AI 安全的这样的一些重大的话题。那我们现在回到就是我们今天站在中国的这样的一个视角上，那其实我想问马来比先生的一个问题是，您是如何看待中国 AI 就是现在的一个发展的情况，以及就是中国 AI 的崛起的
？Well, it's very impressive. The DeepSeek model was the first one, which was really excellent, and then it's been followed by other ones, which are also really, really good. And I think also in the application layer, which I mentioned before, China is very, very advanced. So I was for 2 days visiting Huawei just a couple of days ago. Thanks to Cheers, I was able to go and visit them for 2 days, and I had about 2 hours with the chief executive, Mr. Ren, but also the strategy chief and other people. And I was shown all the different applications that Huawei is working on, from helping repair of high-speed trains to helping mining companies, helping the healthcare system, helping the telecommunications, logistics. All these different verticals are getting AI delivered to them by the Huawei cloud with Chinese models. And one could argue that the difference in the speed of building applications is actually more important than who is ahead when it comes to the actual models. So I'm told from discussions with people I've met here in Beijing that maybe in terms of video generation, the leading model in the world right now is Chinese. Maybe in terms of generating text responses or coding, maybe the leading one is American. But I think the difference is only a few months either side, and it doesn't matter that much. The real issue is who can turn those models into something really useful. And here I suspect that China may be ahead.
谢谢马拉比先生。其实提到应用呢，我觉得就是我们中国的读者其实他还有一个非常好奇的点，就是说这个 AI 呢会如何变革我们的行业？比如说我们每一个就是在这个职场啊，或者是在这个生活中，我们应该学什么，或者是我们应该去选择提升哪一个部分的这样的一个模块啊。
Well, I think people should focus on human-to-human contact, because one thing machines won't be able to do is to really relate to other humans as a human can. I think an encouraging example here is that ever since 1997, so that's a long time ago, computers have beaten humans at chess. But actually the number of human chess players playing professionally has gone up, and the number of fans, human fans, watching other humans play chess has gone up. And human fans don't want to watch machines playing chess. They want to watch humans playing chess. So I think, first of all, focus on human-to-human interaction. Secondly, focus on goal setting. We don't really want the machines to set goals for us. So if you're an entrepreneur, and that could mean starting a business, it could mean starting some kind of volunteer organization in your community, anything where you're setting objectives is a good thing for humans to focus on. So I think these are two things which will always distinguish human beings from machines.
是的。其实 AI 刚刚我们提到，刚刚 AI 其实我们知道 AI 可能会变革很多的行业。其实在这个众多行业里边，我觉得有非常大的一个可能很多人都在关注的是 AI 怎么会变革我们的教育行业。因为教育本身呢，它其实是能够对于我们未来去培养人才啊，或者是家庭的去做父母的教养啊，这些其实都是非常紧密相连的。那接下来呢，也想问马拉比先生，您觉得就是在您的采访中，或者您对于这个 AI 的观察中 ，AI 它怎么会去变革这个教育行业，以及就是比如说我们的学校、家长或者是学生自己，他应该怎么去改变自己，或者是怎么去提升啊
？Yeah, it's a really important question, and in some ways, the question of AI in education is a microcosm of the larger question of AI in all kinds of things in human life, because there's an upside, right? AI could be the perfect tutor, bringing specific tuition to each individual student, tailoring it to that person, that student's needs. So it could be fantastic. At the same time, AI could reduce the motivation for people to, for example, learn to write really well if they think that the AI can write for them. If you always think that whenever you need to know something, you just ask the AI, and so you stop learning and preparing yourself, I think you're missing a huge opportunity to grow your own intellect. And so there's both the upside and the downside. And I think the answer is one has to approach the new technology with a bit of discipline. At the core of human advancement, I think, is self-discipline and being willing to put in hard work. And I think it's impressive, for example, I was just shown around the Cheers office. And upstairs, there is a display of all the marathon runner badges that people from Cheers have won because they've competed in marathons. That's a hard thing to do, and it involves self-discipline, but actually it brings a reward. And so the analogy with AI in education is that maybe we need to tell kids they can't have phones at school when they are being required to write something. Maybe you even give them special computers which don't have access to the internet, so they can't use AI to help them. I think you have to be a bit tough in order to make sure that people do the hard work and they learn the habit of hard work so that they can really improve themselves. And then AI can have all the benefit without the risk.
我觉得这是一个非常重要的建议，因为我知道我们的中国的家长们很多，其实现在应该都是在用 AI 去 辅助我们的那个孩子，或者是很多学校其实也是在做 AI 的变革。我觉得马拉比先生他说了一个非常重要的点，就是一个自我约束。就是其实我们 AI 对于人的这个赋能呢，它其实是一个长期的像马拉松一样的，在这个过程中，我们怎么样去控那个速度，是吧？才能让我们跑完全程，这个是非常重要的。那今天的我们的直播时间呢也差不多了，然后接下来呢，我先有请我们的马拉比先生先给我们屏幕前的观众再说2句建议，因为湛庐的观众呢，其实都是一些终身学习者，他们非常致力于提升自己的认知，所以也希望您给他们提供几个提升认知的建议，1、2句话就可以。
Well, the main advice is keep going. I think that's the best thing you can do as a human, is to remain curious. One of the great things, by the way, of spending more than 30 hours with Demis Hassabis, he is the most curious person I've ever met. You know, he knows and reads about everything. He loves movies, he loves history, he loves novels, even though, of course, he's mainly a scientist. And an entrepreneur. So I think that curiosity is the best thing you can do, and particularly in an age of AI, when maybe in the future AI will do some of the work that we do, we need to find meaning and satisfaction from something other than work. And for me, it would always be learning. And so if you feel the same, then we're part of the same gang, and I'm very happy to hear that.